All right, welcome back, terrestrials, to the Quarantine Movie Reviews. Today, I've got Adrian here. He's going to be reviewing The Platform with me. This is a movie that he chose. It's on Netflix. It's a sci-fi thriller, and the basic idea behind it is um, instead of a prison per se, you go to this building. It's got a certain amount of levels that are not told truthfully till the end of the movie, and there's a large hole running through each floor, and a large platform comes down with food on it, and the people at the top get to eat, and by the time it reaches the bottom, it's empty. But people also elect to go here for whatever the reasons are. Our main character in this movie elects to go here to quit smoking. So,
and to get a degree, get some degree.
Right. So I'll kick it over to Adrian. He can give you some thoughts on it, and I'll interject when I feel like it.
So, I mean, it's basically Snowpiercer in a giant elevator, essentially. But a little bit more, it tries to be a little bit more complex. I feel like there was a lot of heavy symbolism because basically once the movie gets started and once you figure out, what's going on with this platform, that, okay, if you're at a higher floor, then you have a better chance of getting food to eat because fewer people have eaten. But if you're at the lower floor, of course, by the time it gets down to you, there's not going to be anything left. So it's kind of like once you figure that out, it's pretty easy to follow along. The one twist that I did like was that after a month, they just get randomly put in another room, and you stay with the same cellmate, or platform mate. You stay with the same person as long as they are alive, or you don't kill them, or they don't somehow get killed, or they just don't, they just decide to fall or jump into the hole if you're at a high enough floor or whatever. I did like that twist. I thought that was probably one of the better twists, that your floor isn't static. And I guess they kind of had to do that. If he had been somehow a movie where he's just on the same level the entire time, it would have been pretty impossible to kind of get as many characters as they did into the movie and then make it as worth it as possible. Heavy on the symbolism though, I think you left out that they each get to bring in one item of their choosing. So when you go into this platform system, you get to bring whatever item of your choosing. And so later on in the movie, as they're going down lower floors, you get a kind of a picture of what a lot of people bring. But
did you see the guy that brought a surfboard?
Yeah, that was one of the first floors that they went to when they were going down, and he went and hid behind the surfboard, and I'm like, okay, even if you didn't even really know what it was going to be like when you went in there, you knew there was going to be water, you knew there was going to be leisure time for you to just maybe catch some waves, when you were, especially if you were in there as this was a punishment. Maybe you didn't elect to go there for whatever reason. Maybe you're just trying to go in there to be I want to get my degree faster, but I'm going to bring my surfboard. This is an all-around bad choice. You can't do anything with it. You can't comfortably sleep on it. You can't do anything. It's a ridiculous item to bring.
Yeah.
The other guy brought a bunch of stacks of cash. Remember that guy?
Yeah.
He's sitting there counting it.
Yeah, that was kind of strange. At one point, because he ended up on a lower floor, the money guy ended up on a lower floor.
Yeah.
So when they made their descent, he started throwing money to him.
Yeah, the money was being thrown down, which was a pretty baller shot.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Towards the end, they were kind of dejected.
But also, you don't need money in that.
Yeah, you need no money in that situation.
No.
Some of the other heavy symbolism, I thought there was an interesting thing to play with his cellmates. So each of the few cellmates that he does have, or platform mates, I don't know why I wanted to call them cellmates. These are the few platform mates that he has, like, kind of represent a certain aspect of this platform system. So, like, the first guy, Trimagasi, super literal, like, super dog-eat-dog, kind of a hothead because he, he's in there because he killed a guy because he threw his TV out of his window. He got mad that he fell for an infomercial, essentially, and threw his TV out of the window and it landed on the guy.
And then he took his infomercial product to the platform with him.
And then brings the knife up the infomercial, brings the product of the infomercial to be his item. Like, just an all-around weird dude, kind of. So he's super literal and kind of like lays out the platform the way that it should be. Like, he's just like, look, this is the way this place is. Like, I don't think you're gonna last. He like tells the dude straight up. So like he's kind of like one end of the spectrum. Then through events, he's with that lady, and she's like the moral high ground, and like trying to get everybody to see like, hey, like if you just only eat what you need, everybody can eat. Like the food will get all the way to the bottom. Like, so she just represents like the complete other end of the spectrum of like the moral good, and then our guy Goring or whatever, he's like in the middle. He's like the guy that has elements of both of them, and he's kind of the hero of the story, I guess, because he brings Don Quixote, the book, to read, which the story of Don Quixote mirrors kind of the story here, and then the guy he meets later, who is kind of like representation of us. I felt like the guy who's like thinking that if he just works hard, he can get to get to the top.
He bought into the bullshit too,
and he got shat on for it. Like, 100%. He was so bummed about it. He was so mad.
Yeah. I mean, a girl.
So I feel like
a girl literally did shit in his face.
Yeah,
so,
shat right in his face.
So
like, that's rough for anybody in any situation.
Yeah, right.
I just think he reacted fairly appropriately.
Yeah.
So I guess the part that was kind of hurried along for me was like the decision to go down. He's like, instead of going up, you have to go down, which like I get. You can't change anything from the top. You have to like go to the bottom. And I guess it was just like this weird. I felt like this was one of those movies where they spent so long like showing you the horrors of this place that when it got time to like kind of wrap it up, like they just kind of moved things along, which was advantageous for them because the second they wanted to hurry the movie along, they just had to make them go down on the platform.
Right.
Like, and that montage was like okay, but like they started on a pretty high floor.
Yeah.
And they went down pretty far. And you're telling me that platform's only on each level for like a minute and a half, it seems like, before it's going down to the next level. You're telling me they fought their way, like nobody picked them off, because they were on floor like 100 and something, and they went down all the way past what they thought what it was going to be.
Well, they started on floor 6, and they they fought their way down. I mean, and eventually to the bottom. Well, one of them, but the guy got it with the samurai sword. Like he got his side split.
Yeah, that's true. They did get them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and they did stop on the level with the old man.
Yeah, and they talked to him. Yeah, they talked to him, and he like.
He put everything in perspective.
Right. He told him to send up one perfect dish to show them that, the guy that gets the samurai sword to the side, he's like, this is the message. Like, this is and I thought that part of the movie was really good. I thought that was really interesting.
It was kind of like a weird thing.
And if I get my advice given to me by an old black dude in a wheelchair, I'm going to listen. Like, that's age and wisdom. You know what I mean?
You're not going to not listen to that.
Yeah.
And that's also another thing, too, though. Like, they made it all the way down there without that dessert getting messed up. Like, I get it. Like, it's a movie, but that thing was, like, this big and, like, super fragile. And, I'm stoked it made it down to the bottom.
And there was definitely a montage scene of them just bashing skulls.
Bashing skulls, like 100%. So And then, I don't really want to give away like the big twist at the end, like, either. But like that made more sense to me than what the old man was suggesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like just trying to make the people at the top see like, hey, it's worse down here than you think, which really wraps a nice bow on this whole like, okay, this is what we're talking about. The people at the top of society like don't understand like what the people below them are going through because they don't care.
Right.
But like everybody who is below someone else gets shed on like eventually. Like that's basically what it's saying. It's like if you're below somebody, you're gonna have a rough go of it. They're not gonna help you up to the top. Right. But if we all just work together, like this whole system would work out.
Right.
But it's us. We're the flaw in the system or whatever. But I guess trying to show them that hey, it's worse down here than what you think. This is supposed to like give them some sort of epiphany, but I don't know. Like in the end, does it really? Like I guess that's the whole question to ponder with it or what it's trying to say. Like if this system still exists, even if they know that this is what it's like, maybe they'll alter it a little bit. Like, but people at the top will always like being at the top, no matter who they are, even if they've been down at the bottom, because like that's what this entire movie proves. Because you can be on floor number 2 1 month, and then you could be all the way down, in the hundreds. Yeah, and you still won't get it. Like you still won't understand because like the second you're back up at a high floor, right, you're acting like you're king of the hill. Like, even
and partially bottom. You can't even help it because you've been at the bottom for so long. You're hungry. You know what I mean? So you're gorging because you don't know next time if you're going to end up back down there. So it's kind of a catch-22.
Kind of simplistic though, because like that doesn't take into account of like, okay, what about people who just start at the top? Yeah. Like real life isn't like this thing where like people fluctuate a lot, right, in their status and class. Right. Usually you're born into it, and if you're lucky enough, some people do work their way to the top, but that's more rare nowadays than people who are just like, oh, I'm born and I'm rich. Like that's it. So I don't know. I think the movie does try to like oversimplify something. Yeah. It is a nice commentary. It's to be taken with a grain of salt. Yeah. And it's kind of like Snowpiercer in the same way. It's like, oh, okay, like, see what you're kind of trying to do here, but you're really trying to jam like a lot of things.
Yeah, I think I think honestly Snowpiercer was a little bit more complicated than this. This was like a more simple way, especially visually. It was a lot more simple.
Oh, it's so bland.
Yeah,
this one was very bland.
Yeah, it was very bland. It was a little bit. It was a little taxing to continue to watch it. And one of my biggest
the shades of gray or the shades of red.
Right, exactly. I mean that was the only color change in the entire movie.
Which I thought was also weird, like that at nighttime it was red.
And it was only red when they were gassing them to put them to sleep.
Oh yeah, that's true too.
But my biggest qualm with this movie was that platform itself. Like, how did it go up and down? There was no wires. There was no strings. It just lowered on a timer with nothing attached to it.
I mean, it doesn't really tell you like when in history this is. So, like, this could be some futuristic.
It could be done
time period.
Electromagnets or something.
I will tell you, there's one thing. There's one thing that I didn't get to like halfway through the movie. So there's a few scenes where like at night, like the first scene where he's like standing towards the pit and he's like, you might want to stand back, and then like the bodies fall, right? But then like later on, like when you see that big gush of wind, I was like, oh, I thought that was people jumping like all the time. Then I was like, oh no, that's the platform coming back up. Yeah. So I didn't realize that until pretty much like 2/3 of the way.
Yeah. I don't know what it does at the bottom for any length of time, but it goes up very fast.
Yeah, I don't know why it chills down there for a hot minute. It's just like, oh, well, all right.
Yeah. Nobody comes out and cleans it out.
Stop on floors that there's no one alive. Like,
yeah. There has to be somebody watching or something.
Oh, somebody's watching just hours and hours of footage, just people just beating off.
Yeah.
like doing weird shit.
And that's exactly what he does at one point in the movie. He just beats
those
off.
two dudes, like by the end of their first month, they were like working out naked together.
Yeah, that was a little weird. They were in the pool together.
It was a little weird. That scene was unexpected.
Yeah.
When they were both just like hanging dong over the sink.
Oh, they were sitting in the pool together.
Yeah.
The baby pool. They come down, they're just hanging out in the baby pool. And then they throw him a fucking
also,
steak.
Who brings the baby pool? Like,
Yeah.
why was that your idea?
Right, exactly.
I feel like there's one dude who fought real hard to get that one into the script. But he's like, I'm telling you, man, somebody's going to want to bring a kiddie pool. Like, what if they just, like, polled a bunch of people, and they just asked all their friends when they wrote the movie, they're like, hey, what would you bring into the platform? So one guy was like, kiddie pool. 100%.
Kiddie pool, yeah. Yeah, kiddie pool.
Not going to be any showers, right? No.
That's true, there were no showers either. Everybody had a bird bath. Alright, well, what would you...
That's what that.
uh,
Literally the same way our conversations end.
Alright, well, see you later.
Choose another one soon.
How many bags of popcorn would you give this movie?
Oh, right. The bags of popcorn. Originally I did have more, but now that we've talked about it, I'm going to go with 5. 5.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
No salt. No butter.
Just plain ass popcorn.
Plain ass popcorn.
That's pretty bad.
It's not that it's bad. Like, the scale's just tough. Like,
yeah.
I don't make movies, therefore I can rate them harshly.
Fair enough. I would also like to point out, I don't know if this has happened to anybody else, but when he suggested this movie, I watched it, and I got it in Spanish with English subtitles, and he got it in English.
Mine was in English. It was clearly overdubbed, so I don't know if it's where you live, if you're paying for Netflix, or if you're not
We live
paying
30
for
minutes
Netflix.
from each other.
Netflix, I am paying for my account. Jacob says that he's paying for it.
We live 30 minutes from each other. It's not like we're in a different
It's not
region.
regional. Yeah, it can't be regional. Maybe it's a setting. I don't know. I always have subtitles on though.
Yeah.
When I'm watching Netflix, but so do you, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I never adjusted to
I
any
know
setting.
what it is. Maybe some people they were just like whatever. Some people have to deal with it. Like luck of the draw. They can't say we're not putting it in Spanish. Like.
And for that reason, I'm gonna give it 4 bags of popcorn.
Yeah, I just downgraded mine too. Like, what the hell? There's some consistency here.
I don't know if maybe that's
Like, why
Netflix's
did I get
fault.
Netflix? Then dumped it into English for me.
Maybe it's all the fucking martial arts movies you watch.
Maybe. I wonder if it's based off, like, your watch history. If it's like, oh, this guy doesn't really... But I do watch, like, foreign films and stuff on my Netflix.
That's
So,
true.
like,
I did watch a Korean horror movie recently and had to...
Now it's like, this guy,
yeah.
he's into to the foreign films right now.
Boy, are you fucking wrong, Netflix. Get your shit together.
Right. Fix your algorithm. Make better.
All right. Well...
Some guy Netflix is be like, God damn it.
I told Dave in IT to not do that.
Alright, man. This was fun.
All right. That's all, folks. Stay safe out there.